Bada Money Cash is back, baby. So I implemented that thing where I talk for 1 to 2 minutes before I start the video. Well, I actually start the video and then press undo on the record button, and it's fun. It's getting quite exciting. Today is 16th of March, 2024. It's a fun way to just get into the rhythm of talking in front of the camera, especially if you feel like you don't have any clue what you're going to say. At some point there is an inflection where you start to become more communicative and you start to find your words, find your ideas and your direction for the actual video. Today I'm going to be doing some workflow mind mapping, looking at the things that I need and how to structure my day in order to be more productive, more efficient, to have more output. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to I'm going to have to go shopping as well for some materials for painting. It's a sunny day. It's an amazing sunny day. I'm going to spend a lot of time outside as long as I can to get sun, even though it's 3:30 right now. I feel a bit tired. I was talking about the fact that saline water really helps. I have one nostril open now, and it's so much better to just have 2 minutes beforehand or 1 minute beforehand to find your to get into this rhythm, to get into this flow, to find your pacing of your speech and your direction of what you want to say. And it's crucial if you really want to be more charismatic in front of the camera. This is one way to do it. You do 1 to 2 minutes beforehand and then you start, because starting from zero, you don't have any acceleration. But if you start like at minute 2, you then get this vibe, this flow, this words just come out of you naturally. And I've noticed this because whenever I started speaking in the morning, the first 2 minutes were really bad. And then I would start to get into a story or something interesting or find the direction into which I want to explore into the video. So that's a great thing to do, a system that I've implemented in the last few days, mainly by accident. And then now I did it consciously. I was like, was this a good beginning? It's 2 minutes of recording. Was this a good beginning? I now have the subject that I want to talk about. And I pressed undo and then redid the whole video, and it's way faster because you do it twice and you get a direction which you want to explore and dive deep into the subject in order to explain the ideas better. So that's a system, that's how you build a system in order to be more efficient, to get into the flow without putting a lot of force and pressure upon yourself. Let's get some coffee, clear our throat. And speaking of workflows, I need to really see what I can do about the wires. And they are very annoying and they stop me from recording, as well as the fact that I kind of have some storage issues. It takes a lot of time to transfer files, especially if you film for hours and hours. So it takes about, I think, 22 minutes to download an hour of footage, and then it takes 1 hour to render it. But I think it's doable. Plus, I kind of want to use the storage more efficiently. I need to use the storage more efficiently because I only have like 5 hours of recording on this, but I never have the 5 hours fully because I tend to leave a lot of footage on the card, especially if it's not edited. So I have a natural backup. I know the solution would be to just buy another card, but I think the limitation that it imposes on me, it's way better than getting another SD card because it teaches me how to better manage data. Even though I have 5 hours, for most people, 5 hours is like shooting 1 month. But yeah, I was getting questioned by a friend a while back and it stuck with me. And he said, but is it quality? I told him that I posted 200 videos. Now it's, I think, close to 300 or 250 videos. And he asked me, but is it quality? Because he said he could do 2 hours of footage every day just speaking nonsense into the camera. And I'm like, yeah, I think it's quality. I do think the things that I say are good enough, more than just garbage. They are kind of useful, especially to me. I like to use this opportunity to just vent, and not vent in that way, but explain what I'm thinking, what I'm doing, and how I'm doing it, and what goals I have for the day, what things I want to do. So I'm basically doing a diary. And I'm also practicing how to speak in front of the camera. And I would have never come up with the content ideas that I wanted to do if I didn't do this challenge. And all the things that are happening right now in my life would have never happened. I would have never had this camera. Well, I would have bought it, but way later and totally differently. So, do I think it's quality? Yes. Is it the most that I can do? No. It's definitely not the most that I can do, but I'm not striving for the best that I can do. I'm striving to, as I did with everything in life, I'm striving to increase the baseline until it's above what other people can do at their highest. Like, for instance, with painting, I did exactly that. I tried to increase the baseline. So even if I have a bad day, that was my thinking back then. So even if I had a bad day or a non inspired day, or I didn't paint for a while, I could just go to the baseline and still get a good result. And that is what I've learned from that, is that you need to have a system where you can not focus on things that are outside of your control. You need a system that gives you a replicable success, a replicable successful result. So people say that there isn't any success recipe, and I'm like, no, my life has proven to me that you have to have a recipe for success. For instance, in painting, and I've used this just now, it's the same concept, just differently, just packaged differently. I use it for videos where I speak 1 minute to 2 minutes and then stop, undo the recording, and then speak again. It's the same concept in painting. I do the painting a few times, but it's not as you think. I'm not using two canvases to do it. I know it's the concept of a sketch, but I'm doing it in more steps. So I'm doing, if I do a pencil sketch, I do a pencil sketch. Then I do a wash with brown, a sketch in brown. And then I do a local color. So I painted it 3 times. And then I do real color and I do in sections so I can work on different types of details. And by the end of the painting, I painted it like 4 times because I've used, and it also doesn't require a lot of attention. Like the fact that you do the same thing 4 times in 4 different ways, you get to use like every part of that medium that you are using. Like for instance, pencil is very good at doing fine lines and describing large objects with just a few lines, just a contour, let's say, and you can get fine details. And the brown wash is very good at making a lot of big surface areas, so you can focus on dark and light better. And then local color is good for building up harmonies in your painting because you are now doing the local color everywhere, and that makes it way easier to just harmonize and build a nice color profile for your painting, a color key. And yeah, and you don't have to focus. If you divide things up, I used to do this for courses. I used to basically divide everything up. I used to have just painting, then voiceover, then intro, edit. Everything was divided, like filming, scripting, voiceover. So it's 3 things, and the product was very good that way. But then I fell back to my since I started this challenge, my ability to just speak and come up with words and ideas on the fly has improved. So I don't really have to do the other parts, even though in the scripting part, I was really getting a lot better at explaining stuff much more interestingly, but it's not really worth it because I'm not getting paid more or much more by doing that, even though it takes 3 times longer to script the things that I'm going to say and the explanations and everything else. So what counts is the number of courses if they are above 80% of what I can do. And usually, if they are not jam packed with information, they are much simpler and people are more happy with the result because they didn't have to think as much. It was simple language. So the ability to just do and explain things in simple language is much better than just understanding and being able to explain things with fancy words and big sentences. It's way better to just use simple language in order to be more accessible and easier on the ear. It's been a long day. I did 4 beautiful sketches for 4 wonderful paintings. And I want to talk about, I feel very good. Let's say that I cheated on my diet, which is nice. I'm actually going to go out and probably going to eat some more. And I want to talk a bit about what we feel like we deserve and what we actually get. We tend to think, I'm going to do it in a sort of not very intuitive way because it's important. We think about the fact that skills are the things that will get us to where we want to go. But focusing on the wrong skills can really make you not successful. It can put your success on a hold because there is only two things that are going to make you successful. It's the first part and the last part. The first part is the plan, and the last part is the distribution, the sales part. So those two things are the most important things. The middle parts, like the production, let's say it's just one thing, production. The production is not really that important. It is the distribution and the plan. If you have, but the plan is half of the, less than half of the, that's the point, less than half of the equation. Because if you have a good distribution, you might get by with a bad plan. But if you have a great plan and a great distribution, then you hit a home run. And everything I did where I was successful was all about distribution. And I want to focus now on making these channels where focusing on the distribution part more than I focus on the production part. I'm a very good producer. I can do a lot of things. Some of them are higher quality, some of them are not. Some of them I do just for me, some of them I do for others, some of them I do for money, and some of them I do for free. The idea is that I'm a producer. I'm not a distributor. I'm not a salesperson. I'm not a marketer. I'm not one to do that part. And that's where the money is. The money is in distribution. If you have a good channel of distribution, you can have a great business, even if you are mediocre at that business. I've seen it being true in everything that I do, from photography, videography, painting, courses, everything. The distribution channel, if you can get down and understand how to sell and market your things, you're not going to have a problem with that I have. I have this problem everywhere in my life. I have produced way too many things and I've sold 10% of them. So that's basically my problem. I focus on the middle part and I'm going to be trying, I'm going to give myself some money to try some new avenues of sales. I'm going to give myself a budget to find distribution, to see if I can really sell things on. I'm going to try Etsy, I'm going to try the local site. Everything that can take my money for advertising, I'm just going to try it. And once I find that distribution channel, I'm just going to sell. I'm just going to double down on it and really see if I can make it work. And that's basically what I'm going to do. I'm going to also film the whole situation, try to understand what works, what doesn't. I'm going to document everything. I'm not going to document, I don't like that word. I'm going to take notes, video notes. I'm going to take video notes on what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, and see if it works. I have about 100 paintings already done. So I'm going to try to find a distribution channel where I can sell those paintings and really understand if there is another way of just doing it. And I'm going to strive for a 50% profit margin. I know, well, 50% profit margin, I mean, like, you might be thinking, oh, 50% is a lot. No, because I'm not counting the hours that I already spent. So on my hours, I'm just going to have that 50% profit margin. The rest is going to go into marketing. So if I want to sell something for $100, I'm going to spend 50 trying to sell that and see if it works. I've never done this. I've done it once and it didn't work, but just once, and it wasn't on a grander scale. So I'm probably gonna spend a lot of money on just ads to see if it works, to see if I can sell those things. And the problem is if I have a 50% ad budget, I need some capital to start those ad campaigns, because in the past I didn't want to spend. I started with small things, so I didn't, because getting into a bigger thing, it would just take a lot of money, because the price of the painting would be so expensive that, yeah, if I sold it, I would get double the amount I spent, but I didn't have a guarantee that it would sell. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to see if I can do that. I wish I had more capital to do this, but I'm gonna start with these kinds of paintings, like these kinds of paintings. And basically, I'm gonna add a $50 budget to advertise these kinds of paintings per painting. So that's gonna be, I don't know, if it's 5 paintings, it's gonna be $250, which is not a lot of money, but I'm gonna see if I can sell them. If I put $250 in advertising, if I can sell these paintings, if I can get my money back, double my money. If I can double my money, I'm just gonna do it with all of the paintings, because I'm gonna take that $500 and just put it back in to selling bigger paintings, better paintings, whatever, just all the paintings. I'm just gonna add have a budget for the. I'm just gonna have a budget for the paintings. For each painting, 50% of the price of the painting, I'm just gonna put in advertising. So yeah, it's a crazy idea, but I'm gonna see what's gonna sell, what's gonna do well. If I can do that and get the money on the painting, then I'm gonna be a happy guy. I'm a bit scared of doing this, but I should have done it 3 years ago, 4 years ago. I just need a way to sell my paintings, because the making part is easy for me. The producing part is super, super easy. I just need to figure out how to sell them at a fast rate so I can make good amounts of money. Because paintings like these, I can make 10 of them every day. So that's 1,000, well, 500 if you put the marketing budget into the equation, then $500 a day. I can do 10 of them every day. So more complex ones like the one behind me, it takes 6, 7 hours to make. So yeah, I'm just gonna see what sells, what. I just need data. I need to get over myself and try to find a way to make it, to sell the things that I'm making, because the skills are there. I just need a distribution channel. Just need a way to make all the things that I produce actually make money. And I think that's all for today. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.